Okay, so now once we have done a few examples from Thevenin's theorem, let's move on to a comparatively tricky scenario where in a circuit we have the independent and dependent sources present. Right? If a circuit has a dependent source present, then it is not possible to turn off the dependent source. Why it is not possible to turn off the dependent source? Because in order to turn off a dependent source, we need to make the value of controlling parameter 0. And if we make the value of controlling parameter 0, that means ultimately we are removing some branches from the main circuit. Okay, so let's move on to an example of this case where we have a dependent source here, and let's see that what we have already discussed, that how do we counter a dependent source with a practice example. So the statement of the question is again the same, and it says find the Thevenin equivalent. Find Thevenin equivalent, in fact, for the circuit shown in figure below. For the circuit shown in figure below, right? Okay, let me draw the circuit now. Okay, so now if you analyze the question, you can easily see that this particular question has load terminals open circuited, right? And then one thing that you will see is that it involves two types of sources. The first one is an independent current source of magnitude 5 amperes, and the second one is the dependent current source of magnitude 2x. It is very important to note that we cannot turn off a dependent source. Why we cannot turn off a dependent source? Because it is working with respect to some other variable in the circuit, right? Because if you are looking at this point, it is working with respect to variable Vx, and Vx is the voltage here. And if we want to turn it off, then we need to change the layout of the circuit, which is not possible, right? So it is not possible to change or turn off a dependent source. And how we deal with it, let's see. First of all, the idea is to calculate VThevenin, because in order to find the Thevenin equivalent circuit, we need to have the values for Thevenin voltage, that is VThevenin, and the Thevenin resistance, which is RThevenin. So first let's find out VThevenin. There will be no issue in that. We already know that VThevenin is basically the open circuit voltage here, right? and VThevenin is the open circuit voltage, and since there is open circuit, so the current through 2 ohms resistance will be 0, or you can say that there will be no current through the 2 ohms resistance, which means that if we are checking the nodes of the system, and this is node A, and this is node B, and this is node C, with a voltage Vc is equal to reference voltage. This one is the voltage V and this is the voltage Vb. So we know that VThevenin is equal to Vb. Why? Because there is no current through this resistance, right? So I hope it's clear now. Again, in order to find Vp, we can apply different techniques here. We can go for Thevenin, and we can go for nodal, we can go for mesh. But since in the previous two questions we have gone for nodal analysis, so just to show that different techniques can be applied here, I will go for mesh analysis. Another reason for that is because there is a voltage source involved between two non-reference nodes, which means it will become the case of a supernode. And to avoid complexity, I am going with mesh analysis technique, right? So the first thing I need to do is define loops in the circuit. This is, let's say, I1 here. This is, let's call it as I2. These are the directions, and this is I3. I have very small space left, right? One more thing that you people need to notice is that we have a current source here, but this source is only a part of single loop, one loop. Ultimately, this means that I1 is equal to 5 amperes. Why? Because they both are in the same direction. Just suppose if they were in opposite direction, then I1 would have been equal to minus 5 amperes. Clear? And now what we need to do is apply KVL to loop number 2. We also need to assign the polarities here, plus minus and plus minus. Okay, so it will become minus Vx, right? Or we can directly convert it into the form of product form, which is the product of resistance and current. Here the resistance is 4 ohms, right? Minus, why minus? Because the current is entering the negative terminal, and two currents are flowing through this resistance, right? I1 is also flowing and it is entering the positive terminal, whereas I2 is entering the negative terminal, which means plus I1 minus I2. Similarly, plus, why plus? Because the current is entering the positive terminal, plus twice of y twice because the resistance is 2 ohms. Positive current is here entering the positive terminal is I2, and the current entering the negative terminal is I3. So it will be plus I2 minus I3 is equal to, plus, this is not a loop, right? Because this is not a closed path. Always remember it, right? So this 6 ohm resistance only has one current, plus 6 I2 is equal to 0. Now if we just rearrange this equation, let me just rearrange the equation. We know that I1 is equal to 2 ohms from 2 minus I2 plus 2 I2 minus I3 plus 6 times of I2 is equal to 0, right? So that makes minus 8 plus 4I2, yes, plus 2I2 minus 2I3 plus 6I2 is equal to 0, is equal to 8, 6I2 and 4I2, 10I2 and 12I2, right? So it becomes 12I2, 4 6, 10, this one is 10, this one is 10, this one is 10, minus 2i3 is equal to 8. We can also simplify it if we want, like 6i2 minus i3 is equal to 4, but we are not concerned with the mathematics as far as it is concerned, right? Just make it about it. Okay, so this is our equation number 1. Now coming back towards the circuit, we have another loop which we have expressed as loop 3. Now that we have another loop which is linked with the dependent source, so let's apply KVL to this loop here, and we can see that the current is entering the negative terminal of the voltage source, so it will be minus 2Vx, and again negative terminal, right? So let me first write its statement. Applying KVL to loop 3, minus 2Vx, right? And then minus y minus, because the current here is entering the negative terminal in this direction, right? And then we have two currents. I2 is entering the positive terminal, I3 is entering the negative terminal, and the resistance is 2, which means minus 2 plus I2 minus I3 is equal to 0. Again, you need to note one thing, that we had two variables and the equations were supposed to be in the form of I2 and I3, but here a third variable has also been involved, which is Vx here, this particular variable. So now we need to convert this Vx in terms of our loop currents, which are V1 and which are I1, I2 and I3, right? And when we see this, we can here see that I1 current, Vx is the voltage across this 4 ohm resistance. Now you need to note that we have another loop here in the system, which is loop number 3, and it consists of only two branches, the 2Vx branch and this 2 ohms branch, right? So we need to apply KVL at this loop also. So let's start by writing applying KVL to loop number 3. Okay, the current is now entering the negative terminal here, right? So the overall voltage will be negative. Resistance is 2 ohms. Positive terminal has a current and entering current of I2. Whereas the negative terminal has an entering current of I3. So it will be plus I2 minus I3 minus 2Vx is equal to, right? Now you can see that there are two equations, one in form of two mesh current variables, I2 and I3, but there is another variable which has been involved, and this variable is Vx. So we need to convert Vx into I1, I2 or I3. And how can we do that? We can see that Vx is basically the voltage at this source, and this is a dependent source. So basically Vx is the voltage across the 4 ohm resistance, and we know that according to Ohm's law, okay, just give this equation as equation 2. V is equal to IR, which means that Vx will be equal to 4 times, which is the resistance. Now again it has two currents involved, right? It has two currents. The first current is entering the positive terminal, this current is I1. The second current is entering the negative terminal, and this current is I2. So it will be plus I1 minus I2, right? So it is, we know that I1 is 5, right? 4, 5 minus I2 Vx. So what we need to do is put the value of Vx in equation 2, right? So what will be the equation 2 now? What will be updated form of equation 2, rather we can say? Okay, let me adjust the paper also. Right, so when we put the value of Vx, it becomes minus 2 I2 minus I3 minus 2 4 times of 5 minus I2. We can simplify this equation, like we can divide it by both sides by 2, so it becomes 1 1 1 1. So it will be like minus I2 plus I3 minus 20 plus 4I2 is equal to 0. 4I2 minus I2 is 3I2 plus I3 is equal to 20, and this is our equation 3. Now what we need to do is we need to find the value of VThevenin. Now this needs to be checked here, that now this is the question here, this is main circuit, right? And when you people analyze it, here you can see that VThevenin is basically the open circuit voltage. And what is the, okay, so this is basically the VThevenin, and we need to also express this VThevenin in terms of the mesh currents. There is no current through this resistance 2 ohms, which means VThevenin is equal to VB, which we have already written here. And now what is VB? Right, so this is basically our VThevenin, and it is equal to VB. And VB is the voltage across this 6 ohm resistance. And how many currents are involved in this 6 ohm resistance? Only one current, right, which is I2. So VB is basically equal to 6 times of I2. And we need to solve these equations. Which equations? We need to solve these two equations. The equation 1, these two equations, right? The equation 1 and equation 3, to find out the value of I2. And how do we find out the value of I2? So solving equation 1 and equation 3, we can find out the value of I2, right? So we will write here, solving equation 1 and 3, this will give me what? This will give me the value of I2, and we are only concerned with the value of I2 because we want Thevenin voltage. I2 is equal to 3.333 amperes, right? And thus VThevenin is equal to 6 times of I2, equal to 6 times 3.333, almost it is equal to 20 volts, right? So we have found out the value of VThevenin. This was one required parameter in the question, right? So the second required parameter is to find the value of RThevenin, which is the Thevenin resistance. So first of all, we will do the same thing, that is turning off all the independent sources from the figure. This is our main circuit, so let's turn off all the independent sources, turning off all the independent sources in order to find the value of RThevenin, right? So what will our circuit look like? We will need to open this source and there will be no impact on this source. Why? Because it is a dependent source. Always remember that. Our circuit will now start looking like this. This is 4 ohms plus minus Vx. Then we have this 2 ohms resistance. Then we also have this 6 ohms resistance, 2 ohms, right? So, okay, let me adjust the circuit now. This I hope is fine. Right? Okay, so now if you analyze the circuit in this scenario, you can see that there is a voltage source. And we do not know the resistance of a dependent voltage source. Its resistance is bound to decrease or increase as per the circuit parameters. This is what we were talking about. In such scenarios, you cannot find the Thevenin resistance by simply solving the circuit in series or parallel or star or delta. Now you need to do what? You need to connect a voltage source or a current source, right, of unit magnitude. By unit magnitude I will also tell you this, plus minus 1, and then we need to solve the circuit. Here if you are able to see that now we have connected a 1 volt test source and the current through this test source. Basically we are required to calculate the value of resistance between these 2 points. So what we need to do is we need to find the current through this terminal, right, through the 2 ohms resistance. This is what we are talking about, and just write that connecting a 1 volt test source in order to determine the value of RThevenin. We know that RThevenin, basically the distance between these 2 points, as per the Ohm's law, is equal to V divided by IT, right? And it will be equal, V is 1 volt, so it will be 1 upon IT. Let's name this equation as equation 4. So, and this is the reason why we have taken this source to be 1 volt, so that the solution is simplified, right? We can also take it 2 volts, but then the fraction will become a bit more complex. We can also take it as 110 volts, no issue with that, because we know that the resistance will accordingly change. This ratio will remain the same. Even if you take 110 volts, the current will increase by 110 times. So just to make our calculation simple, we use 1 volt as the magnitude, right? And now if you look at the question, we need to solve it for the value of IT. Again, let's solve it by mesh analysis. We have 3 loops here. This is loop number 1 with a current of I1. This is loop number 2 with a current of I2, and this is loop number 3 with a current of I3. And you see that IT and I3 are in opposite direction. Okay, we will look at this afterwards, no issue. right? So what we need to do is apply KVL to loop 1. That gives me plus and minus, so it will be 2 times of I1. Why I1? Because I1 here is entering the positive terminal, and minus I2. Why? Because I2 is entering the negative terminal. Minus 2 Vx is equal to 0. Again you can see that we have a variable which is in addition to the main variables, right? So we need to convert this Vx, and here the conversion is a bit tricky. Why a bit tricky? We'll also look at this. Because here the current I2 is flowing from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of this Vx. Understand? So, since this current is entering the negative terminal, Vx will be equal to 4 times of minus I2. This is very important. Why? Because in the previous scenario, in the previous question, you had I1 and I2. So I1 was entering the positive terminal, I2 was entering the negative terminal, so we just wrote 4 times of I1 minus I2. Here I1 is 0. This path is open circuit because there was a current source present here. Here this current is 0. So which means that 2 times of I1 minus I2 minus 2, 4 times is the resistance 0. Why? Because there is now no current is entering through the positive terminal, no current, and I2 is entering the negative terminal, so it will be 0 minus I2 is equal to 0, right? So this will become 2I1 minus 2I2 minus 2 4 8 plus 8I2 is equal to 0, or we can write it as 2I1 minus 6I2, right? 2I1 plus 6I2 is equal to 0, and let's name this equation as equation 5, right? Okay, so now let's move on towards the second loop, which is here. Again you can see that what will be the equation for KCL applied to loop 2, that it will be minus 4 times of I2 minus 2 times of I1 minus I2, and since we do not have a polarity here, we will be assuming positive polarity, right? Plus and minus. Okay, so we need to apply KCL to loop 2 here, and we will write applying KCL to loop 2. Again you can see here minus 4 0 minus I2, right? Minus 4 0 minus I2 minus 2 I1 minus I2 plus 6 I2 minus I3 minus 2 I1 minus I2 plus 6 1 minus I3 is equal to 0, right? So I hope this is clear now, and it will be 4I2 minus 2I1 plus 2I2 plus 6I1 minus 6I3 is equal to 0. Minus 2I1 plus 6I1 makes it 4I1. These two are done, and plus 6i2 minus 6i3 is equal to 0, and this will be our equation number 6, right? Now again we need to apply KCL to loop 3. This is comparatively easy. Minus 6 i2 minus i3 plus 2i2 plus 1, right? Minus 6 i2 minus i3 plus 2i2 plus 1 is equal to this. Applying KCL to loop 3. So it will become minus 6i2 plus 2i2, that makes minus 4i2 minus i3 is equal to minus 1, and this will be equation number 7. Now we need to find out the value of it, and here if we are comparing this it is equal and opposite to i3. This is the direction of it. This is the direction of it, and this is the direction of this is it, and this is i3, which means that they are equal and opposite, right? So our equation 4 will become equation 4 becomes, in fact, just wait a minute. You people first need to find solving equation 5, 6 and 7. The value of I3 is obtained to be 1/6 amperes, right? Value of I3 is obtained to be 1/6 amperes. It's minus 1/6 amperes, right? So the equation 4 will now become R Thevenin is equal to 1/IT is equal to 1/ minus of I3. Why minus of I3? Because IT and I3 are in opposite direction, so it will become 1/ minus 1/6, so it will become R Thevenin will be equal to 6 ohms, right? So let's have a quick revision of what we have done while calculating the Thevenin resistance here, right? This is our main circuit. We have converted, we turned on the current source, and then we formed 3 loops here. Why? Because we observed that there is a dependent source present here and we cannot turn it off. So in order to find its contribution, we connected a test source of 1 volt, and we are finding the resistance by the help of calculation by calculating the ratio between voltage and current. So we applied KVL to all the 3 loops. We found out the value of I3. We noticed that I3 and IT are in opposite direction. So finally the resistance has been calculated to be 6 ohms, right? And we can also draw the equivalent model of this resistance, right? We can also draw the equivalent model of this resistance, right, which was basically the requirement of our question. So the equivalent model will be like this. We have a voltage source of V Thevenin is equal to 20 volts. Then we have a resistance of 6 ohms R Thevenin, and these are the load terminals where load is to be connected, right? And this is our final Thevenin equivalent circuit. In fact, there is no need for the word final, it's just a Thevenin equivalent circuit, right? So I hope that this is clear now pretty much. If you have any confusion, just try to solve this question on your own so that the concepts become a bit more clear.